All right, welcome back to the channel. Max Tornow here. I want to talk about how to transition from your job into your very first online business. So if you're currently someone who feels unfulfilled in their job, you're not happy with the way things are going in your job and you want to slowly transition into an online business, this video is for you. This is especially important if you're longing for safety and security and maybe you're not sure if it's the right thing to quit your job and start a business. This video is for you because actually you don't have to quit your job and start a business. There's ways to do it next to the job, and that's exactly what we will be talking about here in this video. So pay attention, let's get started.
Have you ever wondered whether there's more to life than a meaningless, dead-end 9-to-5 job? Have you ever dreamed about breaking free, traveling the world, making good money while not having to worry that you could get fired? My name is Max Tornow and I've attained that freedom and I've attained that security. No more office dress code, no morning commute, no boss. This channel is for you, so here's to your freedom.
All right, so the first thing that I want to mention is there's this kind of burning the boats mentality or wrong mindset that a lot of people have. They think, oh, okay, so building my own business would mean quitting my job and then being in this risk phase of my life where I'm not going to be sure where the next meal is going to come from or whether or not I'll be able to pay my bills. And maybe that was the truth in the past if you wanted to create a business in the 70s or the 80s. But nowadays, with online businesses and with the expertise of a lot of people out there, it's absolutely not necessary to burn your boats at all. And the reason for that is the following. Well, at least for the type of business that I recommend you doing, which is online coaching or online service providing, you don't have any expenses, all right? So we can literally talk about the low risk factors of these type of businesses. You don't have any expenses because you're not selling a physical product. So this whole idea of like, oh, I need capital, I need to source a physical product, and I'm sitting on a lot of costs, all this just falls away right away. You don't have to worry about that. If you sell your expertise, you have zero expenses. In fact, even later on, beyond the $10,000 a month revenue mark, even beyond that, you still have extremely high profits. Later on, when you start hiring a team, this is something where we would talk about $50,000 to $100,000 a month. That is where the profits get a little slower, but even there, you'll still have easy profit margins of 70, sometimes 80 to 85%, which is extremely high. So you don't have to worry about any risk, any costs that you might sit on if you're doing an online coaching business. The other thing is, especially the way we're teaching it to our clients is we actually, quote unquote, don't allow them to quit their jobs until they're making at least 3 months in a row more income than from their jobs, and then they're allowed to go all in with their business. So the transition period itself has nothing to do with risk or with like, oh my God, this is going to be such a hard time for me. It's actually a very, very safe time period of transitioning into your online business. It might not be comfortable because obviously you have to put in extra work, but at the end of the day, when you come home from your 9-to-5 job, you come home at 6 or something along those lines, and you're putting in an hour or two a day intensely, but nonetheless an hour or two a day, that's usually enough to build your own online coaching or service providing business. Obviously, if you do have more, that's perfect. That's, the more the better. But if you do that and you put in some extra hours on the weekend, that's absolutely possible. So just for you to understand how little risky it actually is, because again, some people think it is fairly risky. So now that we have the risk thinking out of the way, let's talk about how you would actually do it. The first question that you probably ask yourself is like, well, what could I offer? And the most obvious answer to that is, well, what are you currently doing in your job? It is very likely that you've acquired a skill, directly or indirectly, in your current job that can actually help you build your own business from that. So maybe you're already working in a marketing agency as a marketer. Maybe you have an experience with business processes. Maybe you have an experience with communication. It's very likely that if you have an office job, that there's some sort of skill that revolves around your daily tasks that you can then turn into an online coaching business. If this is not the case, you can still ask yourself, well, what are my strengths? What are things where I'm 1 to 2 steps ahead of the average person? And this is oftentimes something where people think like, oh, I need to be a pro, oh, I need to have years of experience, or I need to have a certificate. That's not correct. If I look at our beginner clients, Many of them just have something where they're better than the average person. You know, maybe they've lost some weight, you know, maybe they've gained some muscle mass. They might not be a bodybuilder or, you know, Mr. 8-pack with a big influencing audience on Instagram, but they're definitely further ahead than the average person that would just be walking down on the street. So once you have that, it's a good base for you to start a business upon that. Does that mean you should just stay where you are with your skill set? No, but it's definitely enough to get you the foot in the door, to get a couple first test clients, get paid as you're getting better, as you're honing your craft, 100%. If I look at my very first business, I made my multiple 7 figures a year with my first business, an online dating advice and relationship advice business. I didn't have a certificate in that. You can't get a certificate in dating advice. I literally had my own experience. I was definitely more experienced than the average person in that, 2-3 steps ahead of that, and I got my first clients from that. And you know, did I charge these people thousands of dollars? No, but I charged them enough money for them to be bought in and for myself to be excited about that. And of course I got better and better over time. And oftentimes in my very, very early days, before I even had a YouTube channel for that first business, oftentimes these people then were happy and they referred me to their friends. So I literally started getting in clients automatically, and I didn't even need to have a big brand. And then again, I was literally doing that next to a half-time job and full-time studying. I was studying at the University of Vienna. And it was great because I didn't have to burn no boats in the beginning. I burned the boats later on, which was silly and also, again, not necessary, but ultimately that's how you can get your first steps done. So you have to understand that. All right. The other point is, if you haven't done so yet, check out our podcast. My business partner, Nikita Gunkiewicz, and myself have a very, very good podcast where we talk a little bit more in detail about building your own first business as an online coach or service provider. We also talk a bit about more advanced topics, and it's very informative and very entertaining. I highly recommend you check it out. We're going to put a link down in the description below, or a link that appears somewhere here right now to that podcast. They're like 10-20 minute video, 10-20 minute episodes, so you can listen to them on the go. They're always revolving around one idea, one value nugget, so strongly recommend you checking it out. So yeah, ultimately, what you have to understand is, if there's one thing that we've learned from the things that 2020, the year of 2020 has set in, is that jobs are not nearly as safe as we always thought they were. There was always this reputation of, oh, business is risky and you can go bankrupt, and jobs are something safe, something proper, right? Because most likely your parents or their parents, your parents' parents, they have gotten a job and they worked at a specific company for 50 years and then they retired. But we still have that mindset oftentimes, but this is not the reality anymore. People don't stay at a company for 50 years and then they retire. Companies don't do that anymore. Companies are, number one, automating with AIs, with technology. How many people have lost their jobs, the simpler jobs, already due to some technology, right? If you go to McDonald's back in the days, there would be a person there, right, who would get paid to take your order. Now you go in and you have these big screens where it's being the order is taken automatically. McDonald's is happy because they don't have to pay salaries. The machines are just working there the whole time, right? But took away somebody's job. If you go to the airport, I went to the airport the other day, used to be cleaning personnel. They barely have that anymore. Now they have these robots that just drive up and down cleaning the aisles. All right, if you really think about that, and this is how it starts. Now they're talking about self-driving cars. How many thousands, millions of people are going to lose their job as drivers, cab drivers, bus drivers? It's all going to be automated. And that's not, please don't think that, oh, these big corporations, they're so greedy, they're doing that. There's no other opportunity. That's the only way they can stay in competition with others. Like, hey, and also you, us, the consumers, we will go oftentimes to whatever is cheaper. So we can go to the restaurant where you actually have to pay more for the same type of meal, right? Because they actually hired a real person, right, to maintain their job. Or we go somewhere else, we go to McDonald's because it's cheaper, because they don't hire real people anymore, you know? So I just want you to understand that the reputation of jobs is not conform with the reality anymore. And we've seen that in 2020, how many millions of people have lost their jobs, have just been laid off. And that's an issue. And meanwhile, we have some of our clients who literally came to us in the very first lockdown quarantine period. And they are now making their own business. They're making their own money. They're in control of that. They're making 4 figures a month, 5 figures a month, way beyond anything that they would have made with their job. Some of them even lost their jobs, right? They took their savings, they invested it into their business, and it works. So online coaching, online service providing has actually been booming because more and more people have been spending their time online because of things like quarantine, because of things like pandemic. And these people are not going to go back to offline. It's more convenient to get a mentor online. It's more convenient to learn online. You don't have to go anywhere in person, right? It's more convenient for you who could potentially offer that, but it's even more convenient for your clients as well. So that is how to transition from your job into an online freedom business. And when that excites you and you say, this is great, Max, can you help me get started? Right? Then I offer you a free consultation call, literally for free. All you do is you click that link down in the description below, or a link that appears somewhere here right now. Brings you to a page, read through the page. At the bottom of that page, there's an application form. You fill that out, takes maybe 2 minutes, and then you can book the exact date and time where you want us to call you. This is for you if you don't know how to start, if you feel lost, you have no clue what it is that you could be doing. This call is for you. We have many, many beginner clients. But also if you already know what you want to be offering and you want to learn how to monetize it, we can do that for you as well. And even if you're already making some money, some income, but you want to generate it higher, you want to scale it, that call is for you as well. We will only be talking about implementable steps. This is not going to be some general information, right? We are known to be quite direct and very focused on action taking. So we can share the exact steps that you need to take in your specific situation on that free consulting call, right? We do have limited spots because, we're human beings. We can only do so many calls a day. But if the link lets you through, it means we still have a spot open for you. So talk to you very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye.
Hey everyone, I want to make this quick video to thank FBM and the coaches for this program and for all the support. So far I made with this program 5K. At the beginning I didn't believe that I'd be able to make a business over the internet and getting clients over video calls and actually getting results. So right now I have 4 clients and everybody getting results, and I'm really happy for them and start to feeling the freedom. So thank you and GG.